website. And I know there was some concern when we talked about this, about all the man hours that would be required to get all that data to the web page. But this, and actually we went and had a hands-on demonstration with them after the seminar, so we spent quite a bit of time. And it sounds like it would cut down a lot of the manual, running the reports and generating the reports, because they take the data from what you currently have in your system and upload it, and you can update it daily, monthly, weekly. So we got some information on that, which would help you considerably, once we go in this direction. But as with everything, there's a cost associated with it. And I think for a budget of our size, it was $6,000 a year. I think it was supposed to increase to $6,500, and then there's a one-time setup fee for $1,500. So you're looking at $6,500 a year to get this information. So I don't know how that number compares to the numbers that you have in providing the data, financial data to the website. So, we gathered that information for you, so make your life easier. And then, I can go on and on, but I'll let you know. We all kind of did, some of it overlapped because courses were offered at different times and you couldn't go because you were in another class. So, it was nice that they did it on multiple days, because then you could go and pick it up if you missed it the first day because you were at another seminar. But Jim, if you want to talk about
that. I would just like to say that the mayor and I and Councilman Kaplan went on a mobile tour of the city, and I'm trying to, they called it...
it was a mobile workshop.
But what it was called?
Revive, from vibrant to...
No.
Blight to vibrant.
No.
Or something
Urban transformation, vacant to vibrant.
I knew vibrant.
Okay. And every question that you would ask, you got the same response. It was TIF. TIF, TIF, TIF. And you have to spend money to make money. It's just, the city of Clarksburg is like owning a restaurant or whatever. You have to keep putting money into it to improve it, to make it better. And the last session that we went to that day, that the mayor and I and the city manager and Councilman Bowden was at, and these mayors and people from small cities were just, it's amazing the things that they said that you could do. Like one suggestion they had was take a wall in your city and put the words, "Before I die," and then people go up and put what they want to do before they die. Or just to bring people into the city for various events. It was very good.
Jim, to add back on that mobile workshop, there was actually one area, it was called the Gulch. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Nashville, but it's an urban area. A developer went in and bought all these dilapidated properties and tore them down, and they're building bulk mixed-use properties where they have housing, shopping, heating, because as we always talk about, everybody wants to work, play, and eat, where they live. So you're seeing more and more of those areas. But that particular community volunteered a self-imposed tax to help fund the additional services they wanted for their neighborhoods. So they realized, to get goods and services, you got to pay for them. So they implemented their own, I don't know what they called it.
Self-imposed tax.
It was a self-imposed tax. They said, we want to pay more because we want more services. So it's amazing what you see other cities doing,
How about their sin tax?
Yeah.
On cigarettes and beer and liquor, they have a 15.5% tax. So, 1% doesn't sound that bad.
If I
One of this, is this something the state has to do with the 15%?
But they have no income tax.
Yeah, they don't pay
They don't pay income tax.
let him ask that question.
Okay, I had looked into briefly some of the mobile apps on the phone for code enforcement. And so I was wondering, is it possible to have one of those where the citizen can look on a map, we can have the data uploaded every week or every month, and look on the map and see what's being called into and how long and that sort of
Well,
thing?
I will answer that for you because
That's one of the ones.
we met, all of us
That's
met,
why I brought it up, so that you could answer.
well, all of us met with it. It's called See, Click, Fix. And it's a mobile app, and it's also available to post on your website. And the purpose behind it is to report public works issues, whether, there's trash here, or street lights out, or
Whatever.
just,
Potholes.
everything, potholes. And then they plot it, and it's recorded, it's plotted, and then you can monitor the status of it. Because what it does is it streamlines it for us, because I know several of us get a call on the same complaint. So 5 of us call Martin or Anthony and say, hey, here's the issue out there. Well, this way, the individual can go right either through their cell phone or on our website and report it, and then it's monitored, and then you can see when it's been updated. And the nice thing about that too is when you establish like a year's worth of data, it helps planning purposes for public works, because they can see, oh, we're going to start getting pothole complaints, which I know you guys know when they're coming through. But it gives you trends as to what occurs, what time of the year, and then you can be prepared ahead of time. And, it's not that expensive to, the only, like time and money. But the only concern I would have on this end is you would have to designate somebody to monitor all that, to update that, and, so it just boils down
Wouldn't all
to.
that updating be done automatically?
Well, somebody has to go in and say that it's been completed.
It gives instant feedback. That way each department.
Oh, so when the
you
code
update,
guy goes,
you would get
he
the,
could be on his phone and say, I was here today at 3 PM.
and you
I
would
did
get
a
the SMS
walkthrough."
text back telling you it was updated.
Now, can he submit photos and evidence that he's done the job and
Yes.
and so on and so forth? So my other question then is, would it even be necessary if you could have, like, you guys, I think last time you hired the engineer guy. So could you have a code person that just goes and does a checklist and has no credentials, but the engineer guy at the end of the day just goes through all the evidence and says yes or no? Would it even be necessary to have a certified code
The
person
simple answer to that,
looking,
Chuck, is
as
no.
long as you have an engineer on the back end?
We had licensed individuals, we couldn't even do it, so no.
I'm just wondering, because if you have someone that's qualified on the back end, you could just have them inspect it. But you can have all the, when I came in and I looked at some of the demo stuff, you have the files, and you have certain evidence that was presented and so on and so forth. But all that could be on the web too, right? You could look on the file and say, or click on the house and say, here's what happened, and here's the evidence that was presented as to why it was deficient in certain respects, and then,
Well, it doesn't break it down. It just says it's been reported, and then it tells you when it's been resolved.
okay, so it doesn't go into the evidentiary. Because
No.
that would be one of the things.
No, because it's got to be user-friendly. People want, they're concerned that, there's a pothole in front of their house, or their driveway needs yellow paint in front of it. They're concerned about reporting it and getting it fixed.
Right. So I'm wondering a little bit above and beyond the code department itself, the processes that are there, that if you have something like this, that's not just on the apps, but it's deeper than that it could really streamline a lot of stuff in the code department and help significantly.
But no still means no.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think the conference was so beneficial as a new member on council. The first morning, full day we were there, attended some paid classes, the Moral Intelligent Leader, a budgeting toolbox, which Mr. Bowden and I both went to and also learned about other apps for transparency. Is one called a balancing act, where you can create your account, preview the budget, and but we'll talk more about that. We have a 3-month trial, but so beneficial throughout. I think maybe if I was going to do it again, I wouldn't stay the last day. There wasn't this much going on, but trial and error is my first time going, but so beneficial, and I really hope someone from the media will attend us. It's only in Pittsburgh next year, so it's going to be easy transportation.
Well, and Chad, while you're talking about that, there were some, we got some flack about why all 7 members went to the conference, but, Zeke, you have the most seniority here, and not to discredit you, but I'm sure there's things you can learn each time you go, just because
I'll just tell you, I'm not gonna say much. I don't know if I paid more attention or what, I don't know this time I did that, because I'm not familiar, and I was telling Chuck, all this stuff that goes on in the computer, I don't know nothing about it. And that's most of the classes I went to, like the ones she's talking about, and transparency, because, that's the new and upcoming thing. Social media, let's face the facts, that's just what the world's coming to. I got grandkids 3 years old, they can run this tablet better than I can. And so, so I tried to, try to learn more about that, because that's what I don't know nothing about. And it's really not hard, but just not me.
It's hard to keep up with technology, and even if I went to a class and learned everything, and I come back to teach you, you're going to get it secondhand. You're going to miss out on the conversation and the questions and the answers and everything that goes on when you're there face to face. So I'm not totally convinced that somebody can go and learn something and bring it back, because with the way technology is, it
Madam
doesn't
Mayor.
work like that.
Let me explain how I summed up.
Yeah.
After reading the newspaper's commentary about 7 elected officials going, and it was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but I said if the city council entertained that line of thinking, then we might advocate that this country could save a whole lot of money on education and teaching our kids, because what we would do is just send half the kids in the country to school and let them come back and then tell all the other kids what they learned in class that day. That's essentially what they're suggesting we do.
Can I just make an observation? It'll be quick. All of us went, let's just say we all went to the same class, which we didn't. So much like we heard to learn. So we all learned, but we could all gone to the same class and picked out different things from that class. We might have, been, something was important to us at the beginning, somebody else in the middle, and we honed in on that and we brought it back. We all went to different classes, learned different things, brought it back. And I want to tell you something else too, that you miss if you stay home. You miss the vibrant, the excitement, the people that are there that you can talk to, communicate with, and learn from them, not just the classes. There are so many people there that have ideas. And we come back and we're excited and we want to do what's right for the city of Clarksburg. That's important. And to sum up, how many people does it take to screw in a light bulb? We can all look at that light bulb and see different things. So it's a great thing that we did. And I'm glad we all had the opportunity to go, because that happens not very often. And that's just my observation. Thank you.
And to kind of dovetail off of what Bob just said, for example, one of the classes I attended was one on cutting taxes and red tape to stimulate economic growth. And there was a lot of good stuff in that class, but one of the takeaways I got from that class was there were some cities that are enacting what they call open-in-a-day initiatives, where you can show up in the city today and be up and running with all your licenses by the end of the day. And so they put all the stuff online. And one of these cities had a really neat flow chart. They got somebody to actually draw a cartoon flow chart, and it's like, you click on how do I start a restaurant? You click on the link, and there's this cartoon flow chart that says, okay, step 1, apply, do this, and you click on it. Step 2, do this, you click on it, and it just walks you through in a very simple fashion, so you know exactly what licenses and approvals you have to get. and you can do it quickly and efficiently. And so that was, that was something that I thought was pretty great. And the other thing too, in addition to attending, days and days of classes, I also had the honor of representing the city of Clarksburg and the state of West Virginia at the business meeting on Saturday afternoon/evening, where resolutions were voted on by all the different member cities to advance policy directives and opinions for the next year. And it was great that I got to be there, and I even got to stand up for coal and the Second Amendment, and I got to stand against Obamacare, so that was a pretty good day.
You represent the whole state with 20 votes?
Correct. The state gets 20 votes, and then each member city gets between 1 and 20, depending upon size. Clarksburg being a small city gets 1 vote, so collectively there were 21 votes there for West Virginia that I was welding.
Yeah, good job.